Hello my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of hot chocolate or tea if you like, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about a woman who made a scene because she didn't like a woman feeding her child. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Background information on my family so the story makes a little more sense. My dad was a business owner and provided a good life for the family when I was younger. He did his best, worked and kept us financially comfortable. My mother was a stay-at-home mother with a nanny or cleaning lady and was mostly supposed to be a mother to us. Cast. Entitled Mom. EM, my hardworking dad. HD, my big brother. BB and me as me. HD was getting ready for work one summer day and noticed my top was looking a little short. HD told me to put on a shirt that fits better. I changed but had a similar problem. I have outgrown my clothes. HD speaks to M about it. Well, I did not hear what was said exactly. It was along the lines of HD. You have the whole day off, why can't you pick her up some clothes? You're off all day. EM. You have no idea how much I do all day, how dare you. EM did nothing all day, many days drinking too much wine and being passed out by noon. EM proceeded to being snappy all day, and I felt guilty but didn't really understand what I did wrong. She left the children in the hands of the nanny in the late afternoon. HD comes home in the evening, orders a pizza as he was never much of a cook, and EM has not returned yet. It is dark outside when EM finally comes through the door, multiple shopping bags in arms. Biggest smile as she commands me and BB to get the rest from the car. It took a couple of trips. HD seemed satisfied as she had done what he asked. It was late, so the next day EM is found in the living room sorting out the clothes. She summoned me over and hands me a small bag. Inside was a single, white Guess t-shirt and I was over the moon. It had rhinestones and I was just so pleased that she thought of me. I wore it and showed it off all day. It was big on me but I didn't care. The second day EM comes into my room looking around and picks up my new shirt. That one is mine, mommy. I gave this to you by mistake, it's too big. You can't wear this. I was devastated and EM proceeds to put it on and wear it around the house. HD comes home and eventually finds me in my room. Sobbing, and I proceed to tell him about the shirt. What about the rest of your clothes? I only got the one shirt. HD storms downstairs and all I hear is screaming. The next day, I got a daddy-daughter shopping day. Brand new clothes, I was looking sharp. At the same time many clothes were returned, assuming from my mother's personal shopping spree. I passed out cold that night, and when I woke up my bags of new clothes, that haven't been put away yet, were gone. I ransacked my room. Luckily HD was home after the week's events, and when I told him I lost my clothes, he immediately realized what had happened. EM had stolen her 8-year-old daughter's clothes to return them for a store credit as he had just taken away her credit cards. My 8-year-old heart broken. Please tell me your father had sole custody. He sounds like a good man, but not as strong against her as he should have been. It can be hard to stand up to someone you love. So many shopping malls have feeding rooms in the malls. Usually near a food court. I am a new mom and suffering from postpartum depression. I will feed my baby anywhere if he is that hungry, but for the most part I try to run for the nursing rooms. I don't think feeding my baby in public is bad. Hot with my PPD, I will either ugly cry or go postal if someone tells me I should let my baby starve because breasts are offensive. I won't know until it happens. Now in the mall closest to us there is a lovely nursing room with change tables, free diapers on some days, and a family bathroom attached. Now right side is another family bathroom. But this one has these toilets that are made for very small children, so a lot of parents bring their being potty trained kids in. No big deal. I never get any nasty comments, mostly moms cooing at the newborn babies. So about a week ago I was there for my weekly mall walk, as suggested by my caregiver for my PPD. My son starts to signal that he's hungry. My mother-in-law, who goes with me every week, amazing woman, seriously, went to get me a snack in the food court and I begin nursing my son. There was only one other woman in there feeding her baby, but the room is shaped like an L because of the family washroom and she was around the corner. I am feeding him when a woman brings in her toddler to use the family bathroom. The kid notices my baby and points. Look mommy. There's a baby. The woman didn't turn and just nodded her head as she was looking at her cell phone. I smiled at the kid. What's his name? Oh, his name is, insert son's name. The kid walks up to me and is about 2 feet away just watching the baby. Doesn't even notice the breast really. He is just smiling and watching my son feed. The mom looks up from her phone and gets this sour look on her face. She grabs her kid and pulled him away. She opens the family room washroom and puts him in there by himself and shuts the door. I am a little surprised, but it's none of my business, so I just try to look down at my son and feed him. She coughs and I look back up. But you really need to do that here? Here? Like in this chair? No, in this room. In this family room. Can't you just go to the ladies' bathroom and do that? Now, this room's entrance, that has a sign on it that says in big bold letters nursing room, either a figure feeding their child. It happens to have a family washroom inside, but it isn't just a family room. And even if it was, I'm pretty sure breastfeeding more than welcome in the room. Anyway, I'm in shock and I feel my face getting red with embarrassment. Like I said, I am suffering PPD and I have serious doubts about my capabilities of being a mom, despite evidence that says I am doing well. I think you have been a mistake, this is the nurse. Why can't you just pump at home, or better yet just use formula? You breastfeeders are always looking for excuses to expose your breasts. You're gonna traumatize my son. I can feel my eyes burning. I hate myself for this because I normally would have let her have it, but before I can say anything the door opens and in enters my mother-in-law. She has some food for me and is staring at this woman. BP barely looks at my mother-in-law. At this point the other nursing mother has loaded up her child and leaves the nursing room. My mother-in-law joins me, not realizing what is happening. She does notice my face though and gasps. "Are you alright?" I shake my head and a few tears do fall. You need to teach your daughter to learn some self-respect. She's exposing herself to children in a public place. She needs to do that in the bathroom. My MIL breached in the 90s when it wasn't nearly as common as it is now and didn't have nursing rooms and had a ton of pushback for feeding in public when her son, my husband, was hungry. She got pissed and stood. "Whatever you said to my daughter-in-law, you better apologize, right the hell now. She is in the nursing room of all places, and if anyone is in the wrong, you are." At this moment the family room bathroom opens up and her son came out. When he did, his mother grabbed him and covered his eyes. She is glaring at me again and I am actually crying now, cursing my hormones. I had draped my jacket over my stroller and she grabbed it and proceeded to toss it at me in what I assume was an attempt to cover me up. My mother-in-law stopped the jacket from hitting me or her grandchild. "I suggest you leave." EP is still glaring at me and hissing about me destroying her son's innocence when the door opens again. A female security guard enters and looks at us. She takes one look at us, makes eye contact with me and sees me crying. EP jumps right in. This woman is exposing herself to my son. The security guard was having none of it. We had complaints from another mother that there was a woman shaming a mother for using the nursing facility. She is misusing this room. This room is for mothers and their children to use. She is a mother using it for her child. I'm going to tell you right now to leave, or I will remove you by force. The poor child starts crying. And he's loud enough. My son lets go of my nipple and starts crying too. Poor kid was probably scared. But this was too much for EP because my breast was completely exposed now. See, she's exposing herself. SG is clearly having a bad day because she just takes her walkie-talkies and speaks into it. "I need another security staff to the nursing room." Repeat, "I need another security staff to the nursing room." She puts away the walkie when there is a muffled response and she stares down. The EP is stunned but is still covering her kid's eyes. I jump into mom mode and I am trying to calm my son, breast still hanging out. She tries to argue with the SG but is getting nowhere. My mother-in-law offers to take my son while I cover myself. I put my bra cup back over my exposed breast and pull my shirt down. I am still sobbing, but my mother-in-law is able to calm my son and return him to me. I just want to go and I tell my mother-in-law that. The test is a blur, but SG says I can stay and leave a statement and they can call the police too about harassment charges. I honestly should have, but I am so embarrassed and just want to go home. My mental state was pretty far gone. My mother-in-law really thinks I should have stayed, but I just wanted out of there. We ended up leaving just as the other security guard shows up, this one a male. I don't know what happened, but I hope that the kid is alright. He really just looked curious about the baby. Regrettably, I am too nervous to return to the mall. I hate that I let this woman into my head. I can't wait for spring when it will be easier to take my son anywhere. Canadian winter screw. I really don't know what is wrong with this woman. She is lucky not to get punched in the face. Brain dead people will always be brain dead people. And your mother-in-law is truly saint, by the way. I'm writing this as my GF and I are getting some of tattoos touched up and we are exchanging stories with our artist. I haven't thought of this story in a while as it was years ago at a tattoo convention. My girlfriend and I are piecing this story together from what we remember, so it might be a bit long. This one convention in particular was in the summer. For those who have never had the pleasure of attending a tattoo convention, I highly recommend it if you are looking to get some ink. And always tip your artist. This convention I was paying for my girlfriend's tattoo and she is very particular. But this story isn't about us, it's about the artist we chose and two pissed off beach witches. Just a little more backstory, bear with me. We go to these cons a few times a year, stumbled on some out-of-state artists my GF fell in love with. We went to them whenever they had a booth, even one time without knowing. They've even started to recognize us the last time we saw them. They are a group of about 5 or 6 artists, and my GF has gotten tattoos done by 3 of them. One year my GF was getting our puppy's paw print on her arm when a mother and daughter come to the booth fuming like a smoke bomb. This mom looked she freaking lived on the beach. Bright blonde hair, skin so tan it was just a couple shades from looking like leather. The daughter was a spitting image of her mother. They even dressed the same. In my opinion, these are the worst kind of people. EM is entitled mother, ED is entitled daughter, and TA is tattoo artist 1 and 2. EM asks to see the TA that did her daughter's tattoo the previous day of the convention. Enter this petite mid-30s lady with multicolored hair and loads of facial jewelry. She had done one of my previous tattoos a year or 2 before. EM gets in TA face yelling that she screwed up her daughter's first tattoo. EM then berates TA, calling her a terrible person for ruining her daughter's life. TA is clearly the anxious type, has a little panic attack, is on the verge of tears and very apologetic. I thought she was gonna pass out right there. Then we finally get to see the tattoo. ED opens up her shirt and just over the left breast was the most washed up butterfly I've ever seen. This thing looked old. The outline was a bluish green, the color of the wings were almost yellowed. I think it was meant to be a blue butterfly. The edges of the tattoo were a bit inflamed and it looked infected. I have heard some real horror stories with bad ink and dirty needles, and this horror show would be prime example number 1. The sight put the TA in a frenzy. She was bawling, so much and offering all the treatment ointments they had in the booth. Even went as far to offer her another tattoo at no cost. This thing was jacked. The ED applied a little ointment and said it burned, not a good sign. All this time my GF is getting nervous of her own tattoo. Then ED starts whining. Now I don't remember the exact conversation, but I'll try my best to recreate the scene. All of my friends laughed at me at the party. I was so embarrassed. I had my cutest bikini on and everything. It was then that the TA doing my GF tattoo finished the outline and stepped into the fray. She put her arm around the first TA, still sobbing. Excuse me. What? This party you went to, was there a pool? Of course there was. As if we knew that. TA1 perked her head shocked and then let out a huge sigh of relief. She knew what would come next. What does that have anything to do with this? Sweetie, be honest. Did you go swimming? ED suddenly realizes what the TA was really asking and got nervous. Just a little. Me, my girlfriend, the artists and everyone, and I mean everyone, within earshot of the conversation audibly cringes. One passerby even started to laugh loudly. EM is very confused as to why. Do you know what pool water can do to a fresh tattoo? You are lucky your skin isn't worse off. Honestly, it wasn't very smart to go swimming before it healed. Poor choice of words. Are you calling my daughter stupid? I'm saying, if she had only taken better care this wouldn't have happened. Well, we weren't told that. The first artist, now reborn with fiery passion, steps in. I did tell you. I remember you now. You were too busy on your phone yesterday to pay attention when I told you about the aftercare. I even gave you a bottle of ointment for free yesterday and you left it. You were so rude to me when I was talking to your daughter about the tattoo. This is not my fault. EM now shocked and a little nervous. Well, I don't remember that. You probably just did something wrong. Leave now. EM gave a quick "you're gonna be sorry." And leaves. TA1 and TA2 are so hyped up from the situation they ask to take a smoke break. IGF didn't mind as she had been in the chair for a while and wanted to stretch. I was still in shock over what happened. A few minutes go by and both of them return and apologize to us. They told us how rude the two were the day before. Apparently this tattoo was a late birthday present and they wouldn't shut up about it. We're putting the M in the past, but of course the story isn't over. Excuse me. The monster of a man is standing at the edge of the booth. Big and strong like a pro wrestler. He had full sleeve tattoos and some little ones on his neck. Believe me when I say he was scary. He looked like he could eat a bear and ask for seconds. I could spend all day describing him, but this story is too long already. I think Big Guy was written in an early draft, so I'll just call him BG. I heard you were rude to my wife. Of course this is M's husband. She and ED have the most smug faces watching from a safe distance. ED yells, "That's them, daddy. They ruined my tattoo." He stares down at everyone at the booth. Is that true? Even his voice was scary. Yes. They were rude and won't fix it. Which one of you did it? TA1 was nervous once again. Sir, we told your wife that we aren't responsible for the aftercare of the tattoo. Your daughter went swimming and that's what caused the damage. I did nothing wrong. Well, that was stupid. He scowls for a moment and he gestured for his wife and daughter to come over. Well, are they gonna fix it? Even if we wanted to fix it until it heals properly, we'll just make it worse. Then give us the free one, you said. It's the least you can do. Daughter, where did you go last night? ED looked like her life flashed before her eyes. A perfect oh crap face I'll never forget. Weren't you going to Random's house? ED can only muster You didn't lie to me, did you? EM is now a little nervous too. Darling, excuse us. The family moves away from the booth and everyone is holding their breath awaiting what comes next. ED walks up to the TA with her head down looking like she's gonna cry. I'm sorry. Everyone is stunned. For what? He yells for down the alley. I'm sorry for saying you ruined my tattoo and I should have taken better care of it. And then timidly asked, is there anything I can do to make this better? This refers to her tattoo. She was asking for advice. Sure sweetie. Let me get you something. And I know some artists in this area that can fix that after it's healed, okay? She hands her a business card. ED now sniffling, thank you. One of the male artists behind the booth says out loud to the BG, your wife should apologize too. She made TA cry. BG looks at his wife, she's rolling her eyes and gives the most robotic I'm sorry. BG gave her a gentle nudge and her tone changed, but not that much. I'm really sorry. Now about that free tattoo you offered. BG. No. EM. BUT. BG. No. It's okay, mom. I just wanna go. Sorry, daddy. BG gets all the aftercare information from the booth and they leave the area. While ED was probably in a lot of trouble, I still saw BG hug her and smile as they left. EM looked defeated and kind of embarrassed. Sorry that was so long. My girlfriend's tattoo came out great, by the way. It's her new favorite. Wherever the artists are now, I hope they know how awesome they are. Like the story ending, you shouldn't be so entitled when you're wrong. That dude is a hero. He was prepared to defend his family, then when realizing he was lied to corrected his mistake. 10/10's coolest dude. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about a woman who tries to give her kids to a stranger for babysitting. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.